Alright everybody, welcome back to another video and welcome if you're new. So we're bringing back this series because I went through all my tweets and I saw a lot of people submit some gameplays, but the reason why I haven't really continued with this series is because a lot of the gameplays that you guys have been sending me are just really good gameplays. This series is all about helping people improve, and if you're sending me good gameplays, how are the rest of you guys supposed to learn from it and improve? So I found one decent gameplay. I don't think it was that terrible, but it also wasn't that great either. I definitely did see some potential for some improvement here. So we're gonna go ahead and just review this specific person's gameplay. If you guys want me to review your gameplay, let me know down below in the comments. Comment review, okay? Review. Just comment it review, and then follow me on Twitter as well. Link down below in the description, and I will send out a tweet saying, okay, hey, this is the new tweet that you guys need to reply to with your gameplay. Just want to make it clear that we need gameplay where you're obviously struggling. Don't send me nuke gameplays or anything like that, because like I said, no one's gonna learn from that. But anyways, guys, let's try to hit a like goal on this video since we are starting up this series again. Let's try to go for I don't know, 450 likes. If we can get that, then I will consider restarting this series and reviving it. But anyways, for now, let's just get into it. So we're playing on satellite here, and he's clearly using a DMR. So my first instinct, if I'm playing on a large map like satellite, is to try to gain control of the middle of the map, and I will pause the video and show you guys whenever we do get into that area. So I do like the fact that he is pre-aiming down lines of sight where there are enemies expected to be. So when I'm playing TDM, I'm also looking at the minimap. The minimap will tell you a lot about where the opponents are. If you're paying attention to where your teammates are, for example, here, see all these blue triangles? That's the teammates. So that will only tell you that the enemies have to be on the opposite area, because, you know, why would the enemies be around in this area if your teammates are already here? They're not engaging, they're not dying in gunfights. So it just only makes sense. So you have to kind of take things beyond what you see in front of you, and also take a look at the minimap. The minimap will tell you a lot of information. All right, so one thing I already noticed here is that, yeah, he does get the kill there, but you also do have to be mindful of taking power positions, which brings me to my next point on this map. So that's exactly what could happen on a map like satellite. If you're just hanging out in one area, for example, one of the four corners of this map, you're just eventually going to get overtaken, and the opponents are going to find out where you are. So that's why it's best to just take high ground, go to the middle of the map, and just scope out lines of sight where you know the enemies are spawning in from. And that's another thing too, learning the spawns. Learning the spawns is what is going to help you have an advantage over the opponents. So right now, let's pause it again. Take a look at his teammates. They're here, so that must mean that the opponents are here. So his teammate just died, so that must mean that there are opponents on this end of the map. So you want to go ahead and rotate accordingly. You don't really want to stay in one area for too long, like I was saying. So he's pre-aiming over here in anticipation that there's going to be somebody there. So that's just another example of what could happen when you're just staying in one spot for too long. That's my rule of thumb. Do not stay in one area for too long. You always got to be constantly checking every line of sight. Even if you're anticipating an enemy's movement to come around a specific corner, you always have to check your back. You remember, your teammates are never going to have your back. So again, another example of what happens when you're staying in your spawn. Because believe, even though these players, they don't exactly know where you are, if they apply that basic knowledge of just spawn knowledge, they're just going to go ahead, make their rounds. They're going to go check every single spawn, and then they're just going to find you and kill you. And just knowing how bad the spawns are in this game, you're very susceptible to die to a lot of people who are going to kill you in your spawn. So this is an area I definitely do not advise to go in. So I would prefer to use, okay, there you go. Yeah, he just missed his shot there, so there's not really much advice I could give in that situation other than maybe using something like the DMR, since it was a bit of a longer range engagement in that situation. So this one, you might want to switch to your MP5. There you go. So it's just little basic game sense that you have to apply. So there is definitely someone to his right, and that's exactly what happens. You need to get high ground. You need to have a good visual on where these guys are coming in from, and see what happens now. You guys are stuck in your spawn, and the opponents know that. They're taking advantage of that. So that's why they're holding you in your spawn, and there's no way that you can gain some kind of momentum to be able to take advantage of the game. All right, so I would definitely like to see this player move to the middle of the map. But of course, at the point of, you know, submitting this video, he probably wasn't aware of these tips that I'm giving him right now. So all right, and maybe we got to check, you know, what kind of barrel he's using. using, because bullet velocity is also a huge factor in whether or not you are going to get your shots hit, or the hit detection. Basically, hit detection is very important in this game, and if you're not using bullet velocity barrels on a weapon that does offer it, then you're gonna have a hard time engaging in longer range combat, especially on moving targets. So see right there, the opponents are taking advantage of the high ground here. So I could definitely see him struggling to get to the middle of the map, because there are opponents who are holding it down in that area. They're just literally looking down lines of sight where they know spawns are going to be at. So this is just the way that the game was designed, and it takes a lot of experience and practice to know how these spawns and maps work. It all just comes down to experience. You got to put in that time and play the game every single day to be able to learn. Now in that situation, I would have liked him to just pre-aim around the corner instead of just jumping around the corner like that and then aiming in, because obviously if the opponents have a UAV up, they're already expecting him to be around that corner, so that's definitely a problem, and you're most likely going to lose that gunfight. Like I said, it's all about being 10 steps ahead of the enemy and just predicting their movement. So his teammate just died right here. There is somebody to his left. All right, he's hearing for footsteps, I assume. And having a good pair of headsets also is a great idea if you're trying to, you know, have the upper hand against the casual player. So that should definitely be a kill. There you go. Get a kill, you keep moving on. I would definitely move to the middle of the map, like I said, because that's exactly where they're coming in from. I'm looking at that mini map. That's telling me a lot right now. Yeah, so chilling in the area that you're in right now is not going to be a good result, because you might get flanked. Here you go. I would like to see him hold this area down. I really hope he does. Mainly going to the top of the cliff is a good area, because you get to see literally where they're spawning in from. And there's no point to go back here either. Now, let me just rewind that really quick. When he goes back this way, there's no point. I'm sorry if it's all blurry, but you know, this is just the YouTube quality that this person uploaded in, but you can still see it clearly here. So he has teammates that are back here. To me, in my opinion, this is just a waste of a move when you can be focusing on stuff that are more productive, if you want to put it that way, because there's definitely not going to be any opponents here. Like I said, it all comes down to minimap awareness. If you're looking at where your teammates are, you know that there are some areas of the map that are not worth your time as far as, you know, paying attention to. So doing this, it could cost you. Somebody could come up from behind you and flank you. So it's just really all about minimap awareness and knowing where to look at certain times. All right, that was a good stun. Good use of his stuns right there. He was able to get the easy kill. Oh man, every time you hear that go off, that proximity mine, you gotta squat right away or go prone. That's gonna save you a death from those proximity mines. But yeah, where he was earlier is actually a good spot. So hopefully whenever you die off of your spot, you just gotta will yourself back to taking control of that area. That's what it's all about. That's why it's called a power position. You gotta fight for it. So make your way back to the middle of the map and then proceed to just, you know, take a look at every single line of sight. Let's see what happens here. So pre-aim, I would definitely pre-aim. No, there's somebody behind you. That was a good kill. In most situations, you probably would have died, but I think the opponent was preoccupied with the Semtex. So this is a very great spot. I don't really consider that MP5 range, because, you know, you could be engaging with somebody who's further back. So definitely I would use the DMR in this situation. I would switch to it. There you go. That way you get like a better accuracy and a gun that's better suited for this type of gunfight. I would definitely switch up your position, you know. Yes, this is exactly where you need to go. So as soon as you see the opponents, they stop coming in, it's a good idea to create this barrier, because you know this is where they're spawning in from. So if you create this imaginary line right here, you're not really pushing into their spawn and causing it to flip at this point. You're just kind of securing the perimeter of their spawn. You're preventing them from coming in, which is basically what was happening to him in the beginning. So I would not push any further out than here. You want to be from the inside looking out. You're kind of just you know, patrolling the border. All right, and that's exactly what can happen, you know, because there could be an opponent who spawns in from behind you, and you don't know, you no longer have the cover of both your teammates and good positioning. So now they're trying to take over the middle of the map, and this is where things can get a little dicey, especially with the game coming down to an end here, and they're calling in all their streaks now. It's going to be a lot harder to rebound from these series of events. So now they're pretty much trapped in their spawn. Look at all his teammates. They're all just like bunched up here, and the opponents are slowly pushing in. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier, except now it's the other way around. So let's see how this pans out here. If I was him, I would just try to take out one opponent at a time and then slowly make my way back in to that power position. So that was pretty smart. He kind of just waited there. He was patient. I would definitely consider using a stim shot next time around. Yeah, definitely make use of your score streaks right away. All right, someone's coming. Switch to your DMR. Yeah, I think switching to the DMR in that situation would be best. So you have to really understand the type of engagements that you're getting into, you know? For example, in that little situation, at that range, the MP5 would not be effective. That's why I make my gun guides, and I help you guys out understand the TTKs at certain ranges. And in that range, the MP5 was definitely out of its range. So there's a guy right behind him. You gotta look at that mini-map. There's definitely a guy right behind him. He's killing all of his teammates. So try to get into the habit of just constantly looking at your minimap. That way, you're not surprised whenever an opponent is around your area. You have the upper hand. You're paying attention to... These are literally tools that the game is giving you to be able to achieve a positive result and a positive gaming experience. You know, you got to make use of it. That's something that usually the most casual gamers do not like take advantage of. All right, so the game is actually down to the wire here. It's tied, so now they're down by 1. I think he's seen somebody pinging on the minimap here. Oh, he actually got the kill there. Nice throw. All right, so this match is winding down now. It's almost over. Yeah, main takeaways from this gameplay is try to establish power positions as fast and quickly as possible. If you get taken off of it, you got to will yourself back into it. You know, wiggle yourself back into it. Let's see this actual final score here. Yeah, when you guys are submitting your gameplays, make sure to make it clear what your score is at the end of the game. That way I know, you know, whether or not this is a gameplay worth reviewing. Because what I do is, you know, I've been so used to getting submissions of people sending me like noob gameplays and stuff. I don't really watch the entire gameplay. I just kind of skim through it, and I make sure that I see this final score, and that tells me whether or not the video is worth my time or not. And this definitely was worth my time. He had a 20 kill and 14 death. Not too bad, but there definitely is room for improvement. Like I said, try to take advantage of power positions. Be mindful of the minimap. That way it'll give you an educated decision on what you need to do next. And if you get taken off of your power position, don't sweat it. Just try to wiggle your way back into that power position and make sure to hold it as long as you possibly can. And then as soon as you see the opponents, they start to back up away from that power position, you can slowly march forward and create that barrier like I was talking about, and just pick them off out of their spawn. You know, that's just the way to do it on a map, especially like Satellite. So hopefully you guys did learn something new. Make sure to leave a like on it, support this series if you guys want to continue this series, and make sure to subscribe if you're brand new around here. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Links down below in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Yo, if you guys are always on your computer all day, or you like to game for long sessions, definitely check out GamerAdvantage.com for these blue light blocking glasses. Quite literally the best blue light glasses that you can ever find on the market. Make sure to check out GamerAdvantage.com and just learn more about it, man. There's so many benefits to keeping your eyes nice and healthy. You won't feel that strain at the end of the day, and you'll go to sleep like a baby at the end of the day, and that's the best part. You won't feel tired at all. Definitely check out GamerAdvantage.com. Use code TURBO at checkout.